Hello everyone. I feel like I should take off my glasses because of the glare on the screen, but yes, I know I haven't really been updating as often as I'd like, but let's just testing out some new setups here with some new equipment I just got. So yeah, I'm excited to share with you guys. Can you see my eyes? Can you see my eyes? Okay, well, I'm gonna have to wear these and we'll see what this setup, how I feel about it. Okay, so I had been a part of this book club, this one. I've been raving all over my Instagram, and I would be in a 5-week book club called Start Finishing by Charlie Gilkey. And you guys, I cannot say enough about this book. Honestly, this has revolutionized a lot of just how I'm moving forward in different projects. So, my review. Are you ready? So, Charlie talks about how everything that we're doing is a project. Getting something to eat is a project, getting married is a project, driving home from work to school is a project, working on your homework is a project, studying for an exam is a project, and graduating from school is a project, getting promoted is a project, a project, a project, a project. So, Charlie talks about how sometimes there are some things that stop us. Things like head trash, telling yourself it's not going to work, or people haven't really, no one like you can win. All of the mental things that you have, he calls it head trash. He has competing priorities, and he notices and notes that any time that a project doesn't get done is because of a couple reasons, and he'll go through all of this. This has just been absolutely amazing. So he talks about moving out of those, how to overcome fear, being clear about your goals. So in this book, he recommends that we all have no more than 5 goals or projects. These are big projects, things that we're wanting to get something out of at any given time. So he recommends, in order to do or pick a project, it's important to only pick an idea that matters to you. This is something that is only for you. Hiring a virtual assistant may be well and good for small tasks, but when it comes down to you doing, this is what he calls your best work. Only you can do your best work. This isn't not like a secretary or somebody who can come and a 10-minute coach. I mean, that can help, but this is why very few people get their best work done, because it requires a lot of you. It demands so much of you, and that you show up and be courageous. So when he talks about, hey, he throws a lot of things at you. This is how, maybe things could be blocked. There might be a gap between what you actually think happens and what will. And then he helps on chapter 3. I'm rushing through this, but this has just been such an amazing book. He recommends picking ideas that matter to you. So who are you to this project? 5 years from now, will this project matter? So at first, he recommends just sitting down and doing an entire brain dump of everything you could possibly imagine, or that you have to have, everything that you need to get done or want to have done, or you think will make your life easier if you do it. So for this segment, I would also recommend that you take some time in this video and just dump all the things that you need to get done. I'll give you a moment to do that. Everything you could possibly imagine. Take a whole piece of paper and list everything that you need. And it doesn't matter how big or small, just take a few moments, and when you need to pause this video, go ahead and do that too. So he talks about now, after you have a long list, it might have taken you 20 minutes. I need a new website, I needed some new clothes, I am preparing for formal, I have graduation, I have my friend's wedding. These are all projects. I need to get a lock for my bike. I need, no matter how big or small. I want to lose 15 pounds. I want to expand my business by leaps and bounds. He talks about how if you avoid your best work, you're usually creatively constipated. As I explain that, it's just that he talks about laying boundaries in between your work. So, let me bounce back. There might have been a time while you were doing this, you were thrashing about. Thrashing is another term that Charlie uses when you have competing priorities or you're thinking about what you could be doing or do instead. This is another form of thrashing. It would be easier if you finish it, but you won't feel like as nearly satisfied if you bailed on a project. So thrashing is a sign that you can't finish the project or that you're doing the wrong project. It's not a sign. It's a sign that you're doing something that matters to you and you'll need to show up powerfully to get it done. It's also not something you'll ever get away from. As you become more powerful and accomplished, the ideas that you'll grapple with will scale with you in scope, breadth, or difficulty. Oh my God, this man's words. So, some of the things on your list you might be thrashing about, oh, I can do this later, or it requires so much of you that it might be easier to not show up that much if you do something else. So on this list, I want you to write down all the things that you have and just ask yourself a couple of questions. And not worry so much about failure. Failure is a gift. I had been listening recently to, there were some lectures at Stanford Graduate Business School, and Faynod is one of the most incredible men. Just his energy is so amazing, and he's so unapologetic, and he doesn't care what you think. He'll tell you, and then he'll tell you and your mama's mom and your mom. He also had a chat about not being afraid of rejection. So feeling this, that you've engaged so much, you're actually rejecting not doing your best work. So a couple of things that may help you in picking your next project or top 5. Which one at the end of a year would be one where you would celebrate with a friend? That this was something you felt like you would really accomplish so much of. So go through the list, and of all the things that you've posted or written down, what is something that you feel like a year from now you would totally celebrate with a friend or loved one? Okay. So you can pause and just go through your list. Sometimes mine was several pages. So definitely hit that pause and then resume when you're ready. And then he says 5 years from now, which is going to matter the most? Which is going to feel like it made a tremendous impact on your well-being? That will be a different one. And also pause and go through all of your lists. And then which of the items wouldn't hurt if you cut it out? It could be a creative project that passed. You desperately needed to prove yourself that current you no longer needs because you're no longer seeking approval. The next one, which of the items would you feel relieved to no longer be carrying? Pay more attention to how it'll feel once it's no longer on your plate than what you would need to do to get rid of it. This was so important for me just to, you know, there was a lot of things that led to understanding that, hey, maybe that is not some of my best work, that is something that I could outsource and have somebody else do, but would be in my best interest, not to deal with it. The next item is, which of these items are shoulds or items that relate to OPP? Now, not the hip hop group Other People's Beep, but OPP stands for Other People's Priorities. But you don't see how they're directly leading to your thriving. So, for example, when we talked about our best work being a part of somebody else's agenda, it was just like you don't shine as much and you're giving so much away to other people when this is time where you can be focusing on your best work. So the next item is, which of the items are good ideas but don't relate to something that frustrates, annoys, inspires, nourishes, or calls to you? Charlie mentioned that you can't build the flame to temper your project from a good idea that doesn't have an emotional spark to start with. If your website is annoying you and it's always that one thing that you put off and you're like, yeah, I still got to do that, it might be a great project to start picking up. Only you know, though, as we continue to go through the list of all the things that you would do, he recommends giving yourself 2 hours to complete this exercise. So you can use paper and pencil, so you can erase. And this is not to be perfect. You're just scratch out things, items. This is very important because a lot of times we're not taught project management or planning in a formal education space. So this book was just incredibly revolutionary. It was just wow. It really made so much sense to me. So yeah, the things that you're going through as you're listing more of this stuff is the celebration with your friend. What is one thing that you would be most proud of? If you can only pick one item on the list, which would it be? And then the next question is, which of the items on the list causes the most gut level anguish when you consider cutting it from the list completely? If you're not sure what I mean by gut level anguish, imagine your most cherished project being destroyed in a fire. Oh my God. I did not like this question at all. When I got this, I did not like this question. Which item, if removed, causes that feeling the most? Okay, my favorite, next one. So which of the items on the list are you most likely to wake up for 2 hours earlier, stay up for 2 hours later, or steal time elsewhere to create 2 hours to do? This means you love it. This is exciting. So again, if you have to hit pause to go back, definitely check that out. Which of the items on your list, we talked about that, if in 5 years is completed, how does it set you up for your future self thriving? And then, which of the items on the list, the last one, claiming one of your amazing significant project slots? So this means that it's not exactly on your top priority, but it's significant that if you found yourself thrashing away from one of these 5 projects that you're selecting, pick this project that really matters. So if, getting a bike key so you can get to and from and lock up your motorbike or your bicycle, if that's not going to matter in 5 years, then that really will help you put a lot of things into perspective. So, once you've made your choice, it's recommended that you circle the idea that you've chosen to work on. The next is put a date at the top of the piece of paper you've been working on. so you know when you've made this choice. Next, take a picture of the piece of paper so you have a digital record of it, and put a physical piece of the paper somewhere where you'll see it a few times a week. This could be on the corkboard, whiteboard, your refrigerator, or framed at your desk. This is great because you'll never have to make your choice again. If you lose your list, you will always have a backup, and you will be reminded of all the ideas that you did not choose. At the same time, they'll get the background kind of incubation. So failure is like, it can be motivating, and it shows you what matters to you the most. And you are okay to let go of projects and ideas that aren't allowing you to thrive. That is a grieving process on its own, and Charlie talks about that too. Okay, so we're already at 16 minutes, and I just love this book so much. I can't get over it. Okay, so the most important thing, I guess, just for this book review, because there's so many more books that I just want to share with you guys, but I wanted to get through the end. And this does look like maybe one day, as I keep going back through this, I can bring you guys something once a video, like a little video series on just how to start finishing your projects. Okay, so talking about timing and framing. Yeah, I feel like this should be a different, this should be a different exercise. It's already 17 minutes into the video. So, okay, you guys, this is so cool. I can't wait to see what some of your projects are going to be. When I was in my book club, some people had completing websites. One had create a morning routine. Another had to discipline himself to attend his acrobatic yoga instruction. And it was amazing, just kind of like where people were going. Some people wanted to write a book in a month, and it was just really nice to have a writing group or a collective group where everybody's talking about building projects and masterminding it together. So you all stay tuned. It looks like I will have to do another video. And yeah, there's been a lot going on, but I'm just so happy to connect with you again. All right, guys. Yeah, send me your projects. And it will be timestamped, so don't worry about that. We're definitely going to make sure we're holding you all accountable. And once you have your projects, then we'll talk about structuring how you can meet all of your goals and be adaptable and understand who will be working with you. Charlie talks about a success pack and the types of people who you can have around you and the conversations you'll have, and who might be derailing you or is just a naysayer about your project. So many amazing things. So yeah, thanks for subscribing and commenting and sharing.